Hi there, and thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Christina Funk, and I'm the Regional Director for Eastern Ontario at Benefits by Design. With me is Claudia Verbakel, Senior Finance Clerk, and we'll be taking you through the ins and outs of BBD's new Standalone product. Stick around after the main presentation for Q&A with us. If you have any questions during the presentation, please ask them using GoToWebinar's question pane. We'll do our very best to answer them at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and the recording will be made available to you. If you have any questions or concerns about the GoToWebinar software, please email socialmedia@bbd.ca for assistance. Welcome everyone to the introduction of BBD's newest product, Standalone. An easy-to-use, cost-contained way to give employees benefits that they want. It's a fully automated system which gives employees 24/7 access to flexible spending accounts. There are 3 options to choose from: healthcare spending accounts, wellness spending accounts, or a combination of the 2. All right, let's start the webinar off by posing the audience a question. Have you been asked by a current and/or new client about spending accounts? For example, where do I get them? How do we set one up? What are they? Please answer yes or no using the interactive page on your screen. I'll give everyone a few seconds to respond. There is a lot of buzz going on in our industry about what options are currently out there for spending accounts: health, wellness, top-up, taxable, non-taxable. What is the right answer? What is the right fit? Where do I even start? Flexible options can be awesome, but also confusing. Well, look no further. BBD has your one-stop shop for flexible solutions. Okay, so let's reveal the poll. Yep, and the poll agrees. 81% say that yes, the buzz is happening and the questions are being asked. There is a lot of pressure on plan sponsors. They are facing new challenges in ensuring their plans are meeting their employees' needs today and in the future. They want flexibility. They want options. Plan sponsors need to retain their employees with competitive yet sustainable benefit plans that won't break the budget. This poll is the perfect indication that hosting this webinar is a fit. We hope to answer a lot of your questions today for you and your clients. So let's dive in, shall we? So let's start at the top. Why? Meaning, why would my client want a spending account? Why does this make sense? Well, let's make it simple. 3 easy reasons. We'll call them the BBD Big 3. Flexibility, cost certainty, and sustainability. So for flexibility, I can speak to flexibility at different ends of the spectrum. Number 1, flexibility in offering a plan design for a diverse workforce, millennials versus baby boomers, drug coverage versus paramedical coverage versus a need for classes. What is the right answer to fit everyone's needs? 2, flexibility in that these plans can be sold standalone or with pooled products. 3, flexibility meaning fit. We can customize the plan to fit the client, not the carrier. No core plan required. Cost certainty. Who doesn't cringe at words like trend and inflation? The dreaded pooling. What are stop-loss charges running lately? 15 to 20%? And trying to wear all of your different hats to explain the bottom line to your client. These plans are perfect for that cost-conscious plan sponsor who likes to set a plan and stay within a budget. Set it and forget it, as I like to call it. So sustainability. Cost certainty leads directly into sustainability. I have never met an advisor that doesn't want a stable and happy client. Am I right? Have you ever considered your time spent when marketing a client or moving a client? Mostly marketings are driven by renewal disagreements, discounting, underfunding of plans, and of course, bad customer service. It's simple. Make your lives easier and ensure your clients' plan stability. So now that you've bought into the why sell it, let's examine the who, as in, who is this a fit for? Well, anybody and everyone potentially. Let's look at the requirements. No minimum participation required. No minimum premium required. No security deposit required. And as mentioned, no core plan required. Nothing. Nada. Claudia will talk more to these points a bit later on. So imagine, if you will, your block of business, your pool of prospects, your community. Here are just a few scenarios where standalone could be a great fit. So the most obvious scenario, groups looking for flexible options. This could mean a group looking simply for a top-up coverage, or groups considering offering a wellness package, but are like, where do I start? How much do I offer? A great example is BBD. BBD offers each employee a $200 annual health and wellness subsidy. I've personally used mine towards my Fitbit, runners, athletic apparel, and my gym membership. Some more examples, incorporated companies. We can go as low as one life if the company is incorporated. Groups with or without current coverage. The group does not have to have insured benefits with BBD to set up a standalone product. Groups with a diverse workforce and needs. Retention of a client. This is a great option for groups on the brink of canceling their coverage because they can't deal with the rising costs anymore. Groups that do not have any coverage and don't know where to start. Ineligible industries, temporary workers, seasonal workers, retirees, severance packages, and my favorite scenario, the ones that don't really fit anywhere, the weird and the wonderful groups. You know who they are. Let us know about them too. We want to hear about them and we will find a fit. You name it, the list goes on, and it all generates income for you. The opportunities are truly endless. Oh, and for those of you still searching for Waldo, here he is. I hope everyone is starting to get a feel for standalone. I think this is a good point to pass it over to Claudia, who can go over some of the finer points of the platform and products. Claudia, take it away.
Thanks, Christina. I'm excited to introduce our standalone product lines to you today. So today I'm going to walk you through the products, the platform, along with the administration of the standalone products itself. And we're going to start with the healthcare spending account, the HCSA. Most advisors, this is old hat, very familiar to you. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Still follows CRA guidelines to provide eligible medical, dental, and vision benefits to employees. It covers the employee's out-of-pocket expenses, meaning they have to have actually paid for the service in full and then would submit in order to be reimbursed. Healthcare spending account, of course, is non-taxable to the employee, and the company can claim it as a tax deduction at the end of the year. The plan design is typically 100%. We do offer some copays if the if the employer does feel that they would like to have a copay. We do offer that as well. The allocation type itself can be set at yearly, semi-annually, quarterly, and monthly as well. We can carry forward the allotments. We don't carry forward the claims, so that would be the one differentiator there. The plan limits, there is under CRA guidelines, there's no actual limits attributed to healthcare spending accounts. Industry standards, generally, we will recommend that it's between 10 and 15% of employees' earnings. We often get asked, what about limits and stuff? And it just has to be customary and in compliance with what the actual employee is taking home. So as long as they're comfortable with it, then generally we can accommodate those. They can also break it out into classes determined by the company. Again, it would follow the same classification standards. Managers would be all managers, etc. The one thing that they do have to remember is because the taxes are based on the province of the employee, we will class it out based on province. So if an employer does happen to have employees in multiple provinces, they would see a BC class, an Ontario class, and that's strictly for the taxation as well. It's always best, and we do recommend this for all our spending accounts, it is best to talk to the corporate tax authority on any spending account product, and that's just to make sure that they're comfortable remitting at the end of the year for these types of expenses. Typical healthcare spending accounts would cover, again, all HSA expenses. It can be limited to extended health if that's something the employer wants to implement, or if they just simply want dental coverage or vision coverage, we can also do that as well. So that's your basic healthcare spending account that most everyone is familiar with. So the second product on our standalone platform is something that's up and coming, very mainstream nowadays with the Bell Let's Talk and everything else going on, mental and physical health well-being to their employees. The WSA, or the wellness spending accounts, are becoming mainstream. Generally, any older programs, it was very much a manual process by the company's HR department. Could be a big headache depending on the size of the company. Employers, what they do is they can allocate funds, and for the plan limits here, you're not looking at huge dollars. It can be from like $50. It can go up to $1,000. Whatever the employee or employer wants to invest in that employee, they can accommodate here. They can also choose from an expense listing of whatever would suit their needs. Typical wellness expenses could be daycare, huge draw with a younger population for employees. Personal training, as Chris mentioned, gym memberships, things like fitness equipment, personal development courses can go under here as well. Another good one, because a lot of people are reaching out for alternative medicine, they can cover the holistic practitioners. HCSAs will cover the initial visits of the doctor and as well, but it doesn't actually cover the products associated with that, and that would be things like vitamin therapies, injections like B12 injections. There's a lot of stuff that HCSAs don't necessarily cover under HCSAs, so this would be a good opportunity for an employer to actually extend it. The other great thing about it is they can actually customize this to their actual industry. And what I mean by that is, for instance, if you have a construction company and they want to allocate wellness dollars towards work boots, steel-toed work boots, or hard hats, they can actually add on to this and specify it to their specific employee needs. It is a taxable benefit to their employees, so that conversation should be had as well, so that they're aware that it would be taxable at the end of the year for that individual employee. And what will happen is the plan administrator will have the ability to pull all the necessary documentations to actually add it to the employee's T4s at the end of the year. So it's a great way to allocate funds for employees' mental and physical health. Coverage, again, is typically 100%. Again, we will do the various copays if an employer so wants to do so. The allocation types, that can be, again, yearly is the most sought after, but they can do a semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. If they're looking for some sort of cost containment or costing certainty, they can certainly do that as well. Again, there's also a probationary period for new hires if they would like to choose it. So there are a lot of options into the wellness spending account that they can do, and because of this platform, it means that it can be done immediate on-site and not have to be paper-based, which is great. So the third in line for our standalone products is our combination plan. And as Chris mentioned, it's a combination of the healthcare spending account and the WSA, the wellness component. Here, there's a couple of options for the employer. These plans typically are some refer to it as a PSA, some do cafeteria plan. There's all kinds of names out there, but basically what it is, it's just a combination of both. So the employer has a choice. They can allocate specific amounts to an HCSA. Say, for instance, in $500 for an HCSA, so that that employer knows that that employee will have something to allot to their health expenses, dental expenses, that type of thing, even ortho, whatever they so choose. And then they can also allot an X amount of dollars to the WSA, the wellness component. So then they have the play money, the money that they can choose to spend wherever their health needs determined. And again, they would have the same areas of expertise where they can pick out specific listings for the wellness expense if they choose to. If not, they can do with the pre-populated list. There's nothing wrong with that either. It just allows them more customization as well. And then again, they would have that ability. And now the second portion of the combination plan is more along the lines of PSA, where the employer will actually allocate a certain amount of dollars, say $1,000, and the employee gets to pick where they choose to allocate their dollars to. Maybe it's a young employee that's perfectly healthy, happy, doesn't want to think about dental health or whatever the situation may be, and maybe they only want $200 in a healthcare spending account. That's perfectly fine. Then they can allot $800 into wellness component. Maybe they have daycare they want it to get utilize it for. They can actually carve out their own unique plan for themselves, for their stage in life, which is a great opportunity to put the onus of their spending dollars onto the employee. In cases like this, both situations, of course, the HCSA component will still remain non-taxable, and where the wellness component will remain taxable to the employee. So in regards to a combination plan where the employee is allotting the funds, it's a good idea to have that conversation with them to know that it would be added to their T4 income at the end of the year if they choose a fully non-taxable allotment. With the combination plan for the employees, they will have to allocate their dollars within the first 30 days because it is mandated that they keep it in place for a year before they make changes. That allows them to, just go in, pick whatever they want. If for some reason the employee doesn't go in within the first 30 days, it will default to their HCSA automatically as a non-taxable benefit. Again, with these, typically it's 100% coverage. The allocations, again, it's yearly, semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. Probationary period can be assigned if the employer so chooses. It's a great, great opportunity to actually have a really vested interest in employees and their ability to choose what they would like to do. So along with this, we're going to move on to the MyHSA platform, the standalone platform. And what that is, it's powered by the MyHSA. We've been using it now for well over a year in regards to our Cost Plus programs. A lot of you would be familiar with this. Very simple, very easy to use. When they log in, the plan administrator will see the exact 4 icons in the center of the screen. They're very self-explanatory. Employees make a claim. Plan admins typically don't make claims, but if certain circumstances dictate, they're certainly more than able to do so through this. They have a full reporting menu available to them that will, again, give them the non-taxable reports, the wellness reports, and actually have like the bank reconciliations and everything right there at their fingertips for them to utilize. So it's a really good opportunity for them to go in, explore around. There's the 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365-day a year chat icon in the bottom right hand of the screen. That gives them real-time online technical support. Very easy. They're based out of Calgary, so it's very user-friendly as well. I'll just go up to the employee dashboard, which is what they'll see. This is what the employee will see. They'll see whatever their allotments are for whatever plan that they currently have. They will have the ability to make a claim, view claims, The settings is where they would simply go. This is where they would add their banking information, and we'll get more into a little bit of the requirements in regards to that as well. So pretty easy to utilize, and a lot of people think it's just very clean and very user-friendly. So now we're going to go into the cost to the group, the costing. What is the cost of all this? How do we bill for it? That type of situation as well. So the standard admin rate for all our standalone products is 12%, a 12% fee per claim, and that's with 4% being remitted to the advisor. The standard product, all standalone products are exclusively pay-as-you-claim product. Again, as Christina alluded to, there's no monthly fees, there's no setup fees, there's no checks, there's no pre-funding, which is why we will require the company banking so that we can simply, once the claim is made, it goes in, the money comes out of the company account and goes into the employee's account. Very streamlined, very quickly, and that's the whole reasoning behind the no pre-funding, is because we do it pretty much immediately for what we get in. The plan administrators always receive a notification when the claims have been approved and the money is going to be withdrawn, so it's not like we just withdraw X amount of money and nobody's being notified in regards to it. As for the advisors and their commissions, advisors are actually set up on our standalone platform to receive commissions directly from there. All money exchange is being handled through the power of the MyHSA platform. So in this circumstance, only commissions will not be reflected on the advisor's BBD commission statement. So please be wary of that you will see a separate commission payment generated from that platform, and it's generally within the first 7 days of the month, and it's very specific. You'll see an identifier that says MyHSA, and that is based on all claims made from the previous month. So there's no billing in arrears or anything like that. It's strictly pay-as-you-go type idea. So we're going to move on how to actually request a quote. Well, really, there's not actually any quotes involved in this because there's no costing up front and there's no actual money that's required or anything like that. So all you would simply do is you can talk to your regional director, or most of you are familiar with our new business department. You can send a request to quote in to them. They can actually pull off a proposal for any of our standalone products for you. They can actually customize this to suit your specific client so that when you're presenting it to FYI products, it has their name on it, it can have a specific person on there, and it can have your name as the advisor on there, so it looks very professional, very well laid out, and explains the product for you as well. So it's always nice to be able to go into a group with that. Especially with Ontario being so highly taxed, we do have the ability to put a cost estimate together for the group. And the reason I say a cost estimate is because, of course, with any changes made to the demographics of the group, such as adding or terminating employees, those figures will change. But it will give you an idea if you allocate $500 per employee for 10 employees, and it'll calculate with the taxes and everything how much typically you may be at risk for within the year. So it gives an employer an idea of what the total cost of the program will be, and that's a useful tool when you're out there and you're trying to explain it with or without the multitude of taxes that are accompanying it. So they can do that as well. Proposals and costing are generally relatively a quick turnaround because there's not a whole lot involved with them. The proposal will go out with a group enrollment as well as employee enrollments. We are currently integrating all of this into our Nomad. A lot of you are familiar with that. So we're integrating it with our BBD programs itself. So look forward to that. Everything will be all done at one-stop shop. As Christina mentioned, it'll come all the way through us, and they'll be able to see it right from start to finish from their Nomad, including adding and terminating employees will become a lot easier and go through our platform as well. So there will be a whole host of things to come down the line with the integration as well. So once the group has acknowledged they would like to move ahead with a standalone product, really within 48 hours we can have them up and running on the platform and ready to make claims. So turnaround time is extremely fast. If it's in conjunction, note that if it is in conjunction with pooled benefits or something, it would follow the standard quote guidelines as long as all the material is received at the BD offices. So you will actually be able to support or get them online within a relatively short amount of time, and we can actually get them on to make claims right away. So once they receive an email and set up their account, they're pretty much ready to go. So there's not a whole lot of setup involved in it, which is great. So once the sale goes through, our new business department and the clients receive their online access, then it moves over to our client services department. Most of you are familiar with your client services team, how you have your personalized account manager, you have your great same client services team that you are familiar with. All groups, whether or not they're standalone only or in conjunction with other products, will be assigned their client services team. So this is great. For groups, they will have a personalized team that if they have any problems with going through the platform, if they're questioning an adjudication of a claim, whatever their situation is, they can actually go and reach out to a personalized client service team at BBD and get the answers. There's no having to be redirected to another carrier. There's no redirecting them to anyone else. It's done in-house. The one exception might be a little bit of the technical support, but that would come from the platform if required. But other than that, everything's done in-house. It's, as Christina mentioned, one-stop service from start to finish. We're here to service the client so that you don't have to do it for them, and that they know who we are, and which is, I think, one of the strong reasons Benefits by Design is has such a great track record with their ongoing support with their client services team. So with that, we're confident that our standalone products will bring you a wider variety of options and opportunities in offering benefits to all your groups. We look forward to providing them to you, and I'm sure that if there's any opportunities out there, we'd be more than willing to look into those with you.
So, have we sold you on standalone yet? Let me connect the dots. Here are some of the highlights from today's webinar. So you have 3 options to choose from: healthcare spending account, wellness spending account, or a combination of the 2. No core plan required. With or without pooled benefits. Groups do not have to be a BBD client. No minimum participation required. No minimum premium required. Set it and forget it as far as the budget is concerned. No security deposit required. Pay as you go. Fully automated, and all options are commission based. And of course, don't forget about the BBD Big 3: flexibility, cost certainty, and sustainability. And all of this wrapped in a big BBD bow. Same excellent customer service you know and love today, same great team, one-stop shop, look no further. So without further delay, let's open it up for some Q&A. Okay, oh wow, wonderful. Okay, so this one was asked earlier on, but I'm still going to throw it out there just so we can reiterate some of these questions. So Claudia, what are my commissions?
So commissions are base rate. It's industry standard is generally 12% flat fee per claim, and that's with the 4% commissions being generated to the advisor.
Thank you. Okay. I get why I would want a healthcare spending account or a wellness spending account, but why would a group want a combination of the two?
The combination of the two really reflect what your employees are looking for. The health and wellness components for the WSAs, the wellness components of it, is so huge right now with more and more people recognizing mental and physical issues and wanting to provide support both with physical well-being and mental well-being to their employees. And more employers know that with those types of accessibility packages that they're going to have a vested interest in their employees' health, which is going to benefit them in the end. With the healthcare spending account, it's so easy to say something comes up for an employee. It could be orthodontics. You don't know what it is that the employee is facing. It could be anything that the employee wants in regards to healthcare that may come out. And at least they're covered both ways, and they don't have to, basically, they don't have to choose between the two. They can have a little bit of both and the flexibility if they want it to choose as well, to just suit their specific time in life.
Thank you, Claudia. Another question came earlier on. What did you mean by allocation? I think I can answer this one. When we refer to allocation, we're meaning volume. It's the allotted volume that the employer is giving to the employees. So that's what we mean when we say allocation. Next question. Wellness spending accounts still tax deductible for employer even though taxable benefit to employee?
No. No, a taxable benefit is a tax, that means it's added to the employee's T4 and it's not a tax deduction to the company, which is why it goes on the employee's T4. The non-taxable deduction is the one that's basically a write-off for the company. So that's why it's important to stress the two of them. Think of wellness dollars as like adding a little bit of a bonus to an employee. So it's an expense to the company and goes on to, you know, whatever currently that the employee makes.
Okay, and this one kind of ties right in with that one, Claudia. They just want us to clarify if every claim paid under the wellness spending account is indeed a taxable benefit.
Yes, so anything that we mentioned under the WSA, the gym memberships, daycare, anything like that that the employer chooses to put on under the WSA is a taxable deduction. If it were to move into the realm of health and dental, that's totally under the HCSA and non-taxable, so you wouldn't be able to put like orthodontics under a wellness account. Wellness is strictly more in line with gym memberships, that type of kind of commitment, sports equipment and things like that, sports apparel as well. So definitely things that wouldn't be considered a health and health and dental expense.
Okay, and I'm going to go with this one too because it kind of ties all right in there. How do you administer the WSA claims? How do you know what is allowed under the wellness spending account? So how do you pick the benefits allowed under the wellness spending account?
Okay, well that's a really good question. On the enrollment form, we have a pre-populated list of probably a good 8 to 10 items, and it'll give you a pretty good identifier of what you can include in there. It's also a conversation. In our proposal, it goes into a little bit more, what would be considered under the wellness account as well. A lot of people that are investing time in getting a wellness account normally have done a little bit of investigation in it, whether talking to maybe their tax authority in regards to it as well. And if all else fails, they can actually talk to us as well, and we can actually guide them along, because there's certain things that they may come across, an employee may come up with and ask their plan administrator, well, can I put this under the wellness account? Well, they possibly could. They can have that conversation with the client services rep, and we can actually review it and guide them in that aspect as well.
Okay, another great question. Love the response. Love the questions rolling in. Here's another one, Claudia. Can the client pre-fund on a monthly basis if they wish? So that can they put money in the account ahead of time to pay for the claims as they're rolling in?
That actually is a really good question. We will not pre-fund it, so we won't hold the monies in account. However, what I have suggested to some of our groups that are currently on one of our standalone products is if they choose to pre-fund it, they can actually open a separate account and put the money in there, and once they know the total allocation for the year or for the month, however they choose to set it up, they can actually go in and pre-fund their own account, and once that money in there is gone, they know it's gone, and then they can top it up or reallocate it however they wish to do it, but they can actually pre-fund their own standalone program versus us having to hold it in security or hold it here for them.
Okay. Is there a maximum number of classes I can have? And then second part to that same question, can healthcare spending accounts amounts be based on a percentage of salary?
Okay. Currently, no, we don't have the ability to do it on a percentage of salary. It is based by class. There is no actual class limitation. You can actually, as long as you can class it out within the employer's company, then you're pretty much okay. Christina, I believe, alluded to it at the beginning of the broadcast that we can set up temporary workers and seasonal workers in separate classes so that they're not under like an executive class or a management class, because those can be classed out. So however we can class out a group, we will do it, and especially when it comes down to, again, the taxation portion of it, so we can get in quite a multiple classes with no limitations.
Okay, and keep them rolling in. We're still going here. Here's another one. Without any insurance factor, how does this stay on side with CRA?
Oh, that's great. It's fully on board with the CRA guidelines. It's falls under the same category as the PHSCPs, the private health service care plans, and it follows all CRA guidelines in regards to eligible medical expenses. Again, with the CRA, there's a little bit of a gray area regarding plan limitations and stuff, but it's totally on board with CRA regulations.
Okay, another great one here. Can contractors join the program?
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's a matter of possibly classing it out, as long as they're drawing an income from the company. So if you have contractors, a contractor-based company, we can have a contractor's classation. If they're, seasonal contractors, however we can class them out, we will do so. But yeah, as long as they're, the main qualifier is as long as they're drawing T4 earnings from a company and we can facilitate a class for them, we would certainly do that.
Okay, actually, I love this next question. I actually had this one from an advisor the other day. Good to get it out there. Is this good for sole proprietors, and would this work for a family business?
Okay, so the thing is, BBD will do incorporated companies. When we get into sole proprietorships, it becomes a whole new ballgame within the realm of the CRA. There's very strict limitations with sole proprietorships. There's plan limits that they can't exceed, and it's very, very hard to administer a sole proprietorship. So we will not accommodate sole proprietorship. We will stick to the incorporated companies. However, if an incorporated company has one employee, some real estate agents are incorporated and are just one, we can definitely set them up, and we can actually accommodate their families. If it's a family-owned business and it's an incorporated and the only people in it are family, they're all considered employees, so we can definitely set them up that way. As long as they're not as long as they're not excluding any arm length employees that are within the company working, then we're okay to do that.
What does the employee portal look like? I think we gave a quick little snapshot of them, but just as an FYI, anyone who's interested in further demos, please feel free to contact your regional director. They will be more than happy to set up time to go over more of this information one-on-one and do a demo and everything with you. So if you didn't get a shot at the platform earlier on, we'll definitely set that up kind of offline with your regional director one-on-one. Can they see what claims are eligible online or on an app? If they are already with BBD for benefits, can they use their cards for this product?
Okay, so with BBD, we don't, they will not get a benefit card with this. And because we would only do pool benefits, they wouldn't get a benefit card generally for just the pool benefits anyway. There's no cards to be used. It has to be an out-of-pocket expense for the employee, which is one of the requirements. Once they go online under the claims, they would see exactly a whole listing there. They would pick medicine, for instance, prescriptions. They could also pick professional, and then it would have a drop-down box of everything that's covered under those. So, for instance, if they tried to put through liposuction under plastic surgery, they will not find that because it's not an eligible expense. However, if they were to put through professional services and a therapeutic massage, they'll see a title that'll come up with registered massage therapist. So those are some of the ways that it will review it. Also, and I did forget to note that BBD does do their own internal adjudications. So as adjudicators, when we go in and we actually review the online submissions, we actually look at the claim that's submitted and we verify that it's the employee's name, the service date, the amount that the employee is out of pocket, that it's been paid in full, and if it's an HCSA expense, that it fully that it falls within the the requirements of the CRA, and if it's a wellness expense, that it's on that's the only expense that will show there. So when the employer actually picks out what they want under the wellness, the employee will only see those categories and those products that are under the wellness expense. So they couldn't submit for hard hats if they didn't see a hard hat category. So we're pretty good there.
Okay, and another one here. I'm going to take this one. Many HSAs have a one-time setup fee. Just to confirm, Standalone doesn't have such a fee. No, it absolutely does not have a one-time setup fee at all. Okay, oh, here's a good one. Do you offer stop-loss coverage with this product?
No, actually, not at this time. However, we are always developing the standalone products, so that's something that might be available in the future. You'll have to stay tuned for more because as we develop it, more and more will be coming on.
Love that. Stay tuned. Some more great questions. Does the system automatically account for waiting periods? Or does the plan admin have to add the employee on the day of eligibility? Great question.
No, we can actually allocate a waiting period. They can choose 30, 60, or 90 days, or none. Totally up to the employer.
Okay. If you have an aging parent and young family, life balance is difficult. Could a wellness claim be for paid assistant for a parent? Elder care. Claudia, I'll leave that one with you.
Absolutely. That's the great thing about the flex plan options. They can, if they have a diverse workforce from young to older, they can put in a daycare option for the young ones. They can put in an elder care for the older ones, and elder care is a wellness expense that is approved. So they can truly, truly customize this to their employee base, definitely look at that. There also with that, there's an RRSP option with the WSA if people are looking towards financial planning for their future and stuff as well. They can look into RRSP if the company is already set up with that type of provider. We can certainly assist with that area as well.
If accounts are combined, so I think we're going with option three, a combined platform product, how does the employee know what is taxable versus non-taxable? When combined, does everything become non-taxable and deductible for the employer?
No, it's still based on the what is being claimed. If it's a healthcare expense, it'll be non-taxable. When the employee goes on to submit claims, they will notice behind their HCSA claims that it'll say non-taxable. When they go on to submit their WSA claims, their wellness claims, they will see taxable beside it. So they'll actually know that whatever they're doing is taxable. If they have the combination plan and there's say a set amount for $1,000 allotted, they on their platform will see $1,000, and then as it's being utilized, they will see it decrease and decrease until it eventually gets to zero. They also have the availability of their reports on hand so that they can pull up what they've used, what they have towards spent on wellness, what they've spent on healthcare spending accounts. They will have those reports available to them. But they will definitely be able to see the taxable, non-taxable spending that they're doing. And of course, again, like I mentioned, it's really, really important for the employer to actually let them know when they're setting up these types of plans, what would be taxable and what would be considered non-taxable as well.
Is medical marijuana covered under the HCSA? How is the claim handled?
Oh, that's great. We actually have that come up recently. So basically what happens, medical marijuana does not have a DIN number, so it's really, really hard to put it through a traditional plan. You can't just go and give it to the pharmacy and say, here you go. So what we can do and what we have done is, yes, medical marijuana is allowable under our platform for sure. What they require, it has to follow CRA guidelines for the eligibility use laws. It has to have a shipping label attached or a content label that indicates the plan or the patient's name, the provider. It has to be one of the eligible growers, I guess, for marijuana throughout Canada. There's a listing available on the CRA guidelines. I think there's about 12 of them, possibly a bit more now. So they have to fall under one of those categories. It has to list the amount, and of course, you have to have a prescription from a medical doctor indicating that it is a required product for you. We would keep that on file for a year, and then they would have to renew that prescription and give us that information again the next year. What they would also do on the shipping labels, a lot of times it will indicate the doctor's name and the expiry date of their prescription so that we can see it all in one. But we do have them, and we are adjudicating them successfully without any issues.
Okay, are the forms going to be available on the BBD website?
At this time, I believe they're going to be available. I'm not sure if they're putting them on the website itself or if they're going to make them available through the just through the regional director or or that. So yes, I'm not sure at this time where they will be.
I would think that the two best bets for that would be through Nomad as well as contacting your regional director. They will have access to everything you need to get a group up and running. Okay, so we've got a few more questions here. Okay. If there is a contractor within a company, can he be put on as one person if that company is incorporated? Could we put on just a one lifer for a group?
Um, yeah, we technically could if it's a condition of their employment that they receive some type of benefits, we could probably class it out that way. It would depend whether or not the other people in the company have benefits. We wouldn't want to exclude arm's length employees or other employees that might get into a little bit of a taxation issue, so they best probably run that through their tax authority. But if it was a condition of employment that they had to offer it and this was the only way to do it, we could do that.